A man accused of strangling a woman in Moorhead has been sentenced. William Huck was convicted of domestic assault by strangulation. A third-degree assault charge was dismissed. Huck was arrested back in December. He's actually the one who called 911, saying he needed to be arrested. Court records say a woman had blood on her face and hair. She says Huck wrapped his arm around her neck and held a blanket over her until she went unconscious. He was sentenced to 120 days in jail, followed by 5 years of supervised probation.